Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Happy New Year's, everyone. Let's just say 2026. It is a new day. I hope everyone celebrated responsibly last night, New Year's Eve. The one day that you probably maybe aren't drinking responsibly, slamming them down. I wonder how many people have hangovers today. Anyways, I didn't really get too drunk last night, so I decided, you know what, I feel like reviewing a few things, and you know what, may as well have my first bourbon glass for 2026. Here we go. Alrighties, so without further ado, I am sampling the Buffalo Trace. Now, this is not a regular Buffalo Trace. Here in Australia, 40% alcohol Buffalo Trace is. Now, this one here is 45% alcohol, and it is a store pick. I don't know if you guys can see that, but store pick from Barrel&Batch. Alrighty, so this is the second story. Let's just say they have some stories, like chapters, different barrels. So this is the second barrel. I haven't cracked the first one. I'll show you that in a second, but let's pour up some more. I did have this poured up last night, but we are gonna add in some more. Drop the cork. All right. Now, so it was raining last night around here, so there you go. Hence why I wasn't really that keen to go, out into the festives and watch the fireworks and all that and get wet. So I just relaxed here. What did you guys do for New Year's Eve? Let me know in the comments. Alrighties. So, like I said, this is the store pick from Barrel&Batch. They're like an online retailer. Honestly, check them out. They have good stuff, But for everyone that doesn't know, Buffalo Trace goes by mash bill number 1, I think. Is it mash bill number 1? I'm just going off memory here, guys. Mash bill 1 is like a low rye mash bill, I believe. I think the Eagle Rare also uses the mash bill 1. Now, mash bill 2 would be like the Blantons, the Elmer T. Lee, what's that? Not Hancock. Now that's like a superhero. Rock Hill Farm. There you go. There you go, guys. So that's mash bill 2. So mash bill 1, I believe, is a low rise. So we have it poured up. While that's opening up, let me have a little read at the back for you. Right here. The ancient past of countless buffalo led America westward. Legendary explorers, pioneers, and settlers alike followed these trails, known as traces, through rugged wilderness to new lands, new adventures, and newfound freedom. One such trace, called the Great Buffalo Trace, crossed the Kentucky River at a spot just north of present-day Frankfort. Early pioneers settled here in 1775, and with plentiful pure limestone water and rich river bottom loam for growing exceptional grains, distillation quickly followed. With an unparalleled reputation for creating outstanding bourbon whiskey, the Buffalo Trace Distillery today stands as one of America's oldest distilling sites. The bold heritage of the mighty buffalo and the individuality and pioneering spirit of those early Americans are again found in Buffalo Trace, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, the very finest bourbon created at the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Definitely not the finest. I think there's a lot finer stuff. drop it in the comments. What's the finest stuff do you think Buffalo Trace releases? That's not this one. Has a smooth, confident taste that invites discovery with every sip. Explore Buffalo Trace and taste the spirit of legends. Well, at least they didn't describe it. Buffalo Trace has a smooth, confident taste that invites discovery, alright? Now that's some tasting notes right there. You know what, let's get right into it. 45% alcohol, so I pretty much picked this up online, so it would be roughly $80, $90. Now, the regular Buffalo Trace that you can find at your BWS or your Dan Murphy's, they would be retailing $50, $60, but keep in mind, 40% alcohol, not 45. And this is a store pick, so you'd like to think that they chose a good barrel. Let's see. Barrel&Batch. Let's check out this barrel number 2 or story number 2. Alright. Honestly, I'm not going to say it's a bad nose, but it's nothing dramatic. I mean, the vanillas, the caramels, predominant, you know. It's almost like a cherry cola note, but it's weak on the cola end. So I guess more of the cherry. Honestly, it's nice. It's very sweet up front. You're not getting any booziness. You know, there's no dark spicy notes, you know, like no baking spices, cinnamon styles, you know, what I normally would pick up in a wild turkey product. So see, if everyone doesn't know, you just think bourbon's all the same. Bourbons all be coming from different distilleries, different mash bills, different flavor profiles. But the wheel of flavor profiles for bourbon is like, you know, like compared to Scotch or something, like the variation of caramel and vanilla. You know, every now and then there's fruits, you know, but there's always the oak or sweet oak or drying, you know, it's variations. Whereas Scotch could be like, you got your peated Isla, which is just smoky, and you might have your Speysides, which could be more like a, you know, like a green apples or, you know, something like that. So a lot dramatically different. But anyways, let's get back to this. So color, I mean, color isn't necessarily too dark, guys, but you know, natural color. So compared to a Scotch, this is dark. But honestly, I age stuff in the red gum, so it goes a lot darker than this. But you know what? The nose is inviting, so you know, I'm gonna invite myself in, and we're gonna have a little sip and have a little taste, and we may compare this to another mash bill one. What do you guys think? I'm gonna do that. Anyways, let's have a sip. Cheers, everyone. Who enjoys a Buffalo Trace store pick? Let me know in the comments. Oh man, that's not bad. Honestly, that is not bad. Hold on, I think I need to put this phone on silent if it's not on silent. Oh my goodness. Too late. You know what? We're gonna go with it. After I've had the sip, honestly, I mean, you need to go back to nose. It is like it's almost malty, kind of bready. Or is that like almost nutty, but its own nut. Not like a Jim Beam nuttiness. But that cherry note is dominant in this, to be honest. Yep, the vanillas, the caramels, but it's not jumping out vanilla or caramel. It's just there. Honestly, not a bad nose. Let's have another sip. We're already going past 10 minutes. And you know what? We are going to compare this to another mash bill one. So let's grab that bottle. After I have another sip, let's get it. Mm. 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 It's not really dramatic at the front end. Kind of like a salted kind of caramel note kind of comes in the mid palate. And then, you know, like a kind of slight heat, peppery spice comes in on the back end. Man, it's not boring. But the competitor. Now this is retailing for a whole lot more, but 10-year age statement, Eagle Rare, another store pick from Barrel&Batch. So this one is the chocolate fantail. Now, also coming in at 45%. So this is going to be a great comparison. Pause for the cork pop. That's a strange one. Alright, here we go. Now I do like more age in bourbon, to be honest, so I don't know. This could be an interesting competition. Now, while that is opening up, let me show you story number 1. I know. How cool is this? I mean, how many people here has seen a Buffalo Trace in a tube? Oop. How awesome is that? Alright, so there you go. So this is story number 1. Now it comes with a random, oh yeah. Thank you for purchasing the first release in our collector series from Buffalo Trace Distillery. This edition delves blah blah blah. Our journey begins blah blah blah. Yeah, so learn more on the global claim in our next release in this collector series, story number 2. I'm just reading the bottom bit. So see, look at that. Comes with a lovely letter thing. You know what? Story number 2 is what we're doing right now. But let's just get right into it. Now normally you want to maybe leave the liquid in the glass. Alright, so let's just say if it's 10 years old, a minute in the glass for a year in the cask. Alright, so 10 years, 10 minutes in the glass, typically. Alright, but we don't have 10 minutes. And I don't want to pause and do the whole, you know, and act. We're just going to try it right now. You know, let's just get it. Oh, I mean, it does look a whole lot darker. Wow. But let's have a nose. I really should pour more up in here. Ooh, hold on. That is very similar, eh? More of a cherry note coming out on this. I guess this is more. Wow, it's so subtle. Yeah, this is more subtle in the like a slight chocolate note kind of vibe. this just, this, it feels like it's just lacking in another layer, but honestly, 80 bucks, 150 bucks, age statement, non-age statement, but it's very similar though, you know what I mean? So if you just wanted to get a Buffalo Trace experience and you can't afford the 10-year store pick, maybe just try the Buffalo Trace one. We're gonna have a, well, I'm just gonna have a sip, guys. Honestly, it's been a long night, day. It's continued. Good, Happy New Year's all. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. The finish on it. It's more of that chocolate. I love chocolate. Man, that is good. But we were here to review the Buffalo Trace store pick. Now, here in Australia, let's just say normally I don't even reach for a Buffalo Trace. Purely because at $50, $60, you know, I may as well just grab a Wild Turkey 101. I know, I'm a Wild Turkey fan. I'm just loyal to the turkey. Gobble, gobble. Nah, but honestly, it's just more value, as in, you know, 101, you're getting more percent alcohol. It's only 40% if you're getting a regular Buffalo Trace from your liquor stores. But honestly, if you're ordering from Barrel&Batch or any other online retailer, you're gonna get a better experience if they're giving it to you at 45%, which is what the rest of the world is getting it at. Oh my goodness, we're going on to like 17 minutes, guys. My goodness. A bit of a rant, bit of a just nothing. Alrighties, Buffalo Trace series number 2. Let's have another nose and let's have another taste. It's, they are so similar, guys. Honestly, like, now anyone in Australia who has ordered the Eagle Rare store pick, the chocolate fantails, and if you have ordered the Buffalo Trace, the story series number 2, pour them both up and tell me if they're not very similar. I know, same mash bill. So subtle, so close. Anyways, here we go. Man, we are going to go on to 20 minutes, but you know what? First day of the year, why not? After this, we are probably going to go live. May as well. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. But drink responsibly, don't drink and drive. Who enjoys a Buffalo Trace store pick? Let me know in the comments. Or would you rather get an Eagle Rare store pick? Or what would you rather? Almost like a slight, like sour note comes on the breath of the back of my throat, if that makes sense. But then eventually it just goes to like an oak, like a char, you know, like an oak char kind of vibe. I like the lingering aftertaste of the chocolate more, to be honest, but honestly, very close, very similar. Do I recommend this? Yes, I recommend you try, especially, honestly, I should go grab this is the only time I'm going to grab a Buffalo Trace 80 proof 40%er, is to compare it with this, just to be like, But I just hate buying the bottle because it's just not eventful. But for science, but at the moment we're too broke to go. And I think all the shops might be shut anyway. New Year's Day, right? And it's raining. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to go for an adventure. I'm going to go look for some gold. Or diamonds. Or gems. I'm going to finish this. Much love to you all. For everyone that is still here watching up to 20 minutes, you are appreciated. Much love. I mean, we don't get paid for this. Everything I buy is my own funds. No one sends me anything. Yeah, honestly, it's nice. It's subtle, it's delicate, it's... If you're used to wild turkey, that is big, bold, and cinnamon. You know, like, there's a whole lot more darkness to a turkey or more spice. This is just more subtle. But, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy a Buffalo Trace store pick. Or which Buffalo Trace product do you enjoy most? Let me guess. BTAC? Pappy? I've never tried any of these. One day. I got a stag. Haven't opened it yet. It was $400. I'm a bit scared to open it. Scared's a bit, you know, I don't get scared, but you know what I mean. Sometimes you want to hold back on opening every bottle. I know every bottle is made to be drank, but sometimes if you can hold off, you know, if you don't end up getting another bottle of it, and then all of a sudden you're Googling, you know, you're trying to find another bottle, now all of a sudden they're all $700. Lucky you didn't crack one and you bought one for 150. You know what I mean? But like if everyone cracked their bottles, there wouldn't be any Dusties for us to taste now. So for us to create Dusties for the future, start tucking away some beautiful bottles nowadays here in 2026. It's all like a gamble. It's like a stocks or shares, you know. What is people gonna be wanting to purchase to add into their collection if the world's still not ended in the future? You know what I mean? What are collectors gonna go for? Is it the bottles that were highly sought after and chased by people back in these times? Or will it be a bottle that no one even thinks about? Not even a cool bottle. All it is just no one tucked any away because it was just an everyday sipper. Maybe. You know, there is a whole dynamic to the world of whiskey collecting. I mean, you know, there's millions of dollars. There's the tens, $20,000 bottle. You know, like, you know, it's all the way down to you can buy a bottle for $50 and start collecting something. Which, you know, like for example, Johnny Walker's pretty good at this. You know, like Bundaberg's pretty good with this, you know, doing their little releases, but still affordable. But for the bourbon world, collecting is a bit different. You know, you have to have your own thing. You're either gonna stick to a distillery, stick to a brand, and just collect that, or you're gonna collect a series, or you know, or you're gonna chase all these Buffalo Trace products, or limited, you know, releases, allocated releases. Let me know in the comments, if you're a collector, what do you chase? But if you're a drinker as well, how hard is it to not just crack your bottle when you wake up? Because of course we want to taste every bottle, you know, but it takes willpower to hold off on it, you know what I mean? I don't care what anyone says, you know, like, it takes willpower to hold off, you know? Yes, it would be great to have a whole open bar selections of bottles, but for the future, for, you know, tuck away investment purposes to help you out in the future maybe, or to help your kids, or, you know, then maybe it's best to not just crack open every bottle that we get. You know what I mean? So many bottles that I have now are worth so much more, to the point where I don't want to open it because I can't find one that's cheaper than $1,000 or something, you know? Like Wild Turkey Master Ski 17-year bottled in bond, 700-800 bucks was the last one I could find. You know, so now I'm thinking back to, oh yeah, 300. Oh yeah, this other place selling it for 250. I'll go back and get that one. Never end up doing it. Left that city. No more Master's Keep 17-year bottle in bond sitting on the shelves. What a beautiful bottle. Anyways, I'm blabbering. Like, comment, subscribe. Much love to you all, alright? I will catch you all on the next one.